Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Wrestle Whispers YouTube channel, and today we're going to be breaking down everything that just happened at Night of Champions. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We just got one of the better PLEs, I think, of the year so far as just good content, right? I mean, I feel like a lot of this was predictable, but then we had a lot that was not predictable whatsoever. And I'm talking about strictly that main event and also one of the openers here. So, the very first match of the night, we got a surprise. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I am pretty shocked at the outcome and kind of how this match played out. Now, on paper, right? You're gonna be like, you're shocked about this. Well, yeah, on paper, what should have happened here in this match, and I'm talking about Obafemi versus Jey Uso to crown the winner of the King of the Ring tournament. On paper, obviously what happens is Obafemi demolishes Jey Uso, right? Cool. But on paper as well, and what WWE has been hinting at for the past couple of weeks by never stopping to, include his name and bring him up constantly over and over again, week after week in Obafemi's promos, I was fully expecting here. Obafemi comes out, you have the match, whatever. In the match, ref goes down. Brock Lesnar comes out, demolishes Obafemi. Jey Uso gets the pinfall 1, 2, 3 to crown the winner of the King of the Ring. And that just did not happen, ladies and gentlemen. You got Obafemi to beat Jey Uso clean. No interference, no outside factors, no Brock Lesnar. Clean. Obafemi now is the winner of the King of the Ring. He is the King of the Ring winner. Okay. Now, what does that mean? That means Obafemi technically gets a WWE championship match of his choosing, whether that's the World Heavyweight Championship or the undisputed WWE Championship at SummerSlam. Who does he choose? And does this lead to some tomfoolery here, ladies and gentlemen? Because I can definitely see a scenario, obviously, now after what happened, and we all know what happened in the main event. And I just feel like it's incredibly soon right now for us to get an Obafemi versus Roman Reigns match at SummerSlam. I just can't see it because you're going to have Roman Reigns either lose, which I feel like is way too soon in his title run. Obviously, we're building a lot of stuff right now with the bloodline. And it's also a little bit too soon to have Obafemi challenge for a title and lose again, right? Because that would be 2 losses now for Obafemi on this meteoric rise. So I just don't feel like that fits the mold. What I think is honestly going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, is we are somehow, some way, going to get Brock Lesnar versus Sami Zayn. Brock Lesnar takes the title. Obafemi, Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam for the championship. And that's how you get Obafemi to retire Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam with the caveat of the WWE championship involved. Now, how do we get there? I mean, maybe Sami Zayn comes out on Friday Night SmackDown for old time's sake, just like he used to do with the US title, and does a little open challenge. And you hear that guitar riff, and Brock Lesnar comes strolling down, demolishes Sami Zayn in a squash, and that's how you get the match to be set up. Now, why I even come up with this, right? Just because Sami Zayn cut a promo at the end of last night as well. And we're going to get to this. I just want to include this kind of in this Obafemi Jey Uso scenario. Because he cut a promo, when he won, and he said, I don't care what happens to me today, tomorrow, next week, or a month from now. I will forever be a WWE champion, and you can never take that away from me. So what does that mean, right? It means he did it. He finally did it. He doesn't need to have this long reign. It can go in a blink of an eye. And maybe that's exactly what happens, but we will get to more speculation here soon, ladies and gentlemen. I got a lot of thoughts on this, but I'm just kind of giving you my broad stroke opinions and initial thoughts and reactions of what happened, last night at Night of Champions. And then you kind of have to ask, like, what happens next for Jey Uso? I mean, obviously, he's ingrained into this bloodline storyline right now, right? So, there's obviously bigger things for him involved. I did honestly think he was going to get the victory. It didn't happen. So we are going to have to wait to see what happens next with Jey Uso. And now we get to the Queen of the Ring tournament finale. And man, oh man, I think they missed the mark on this one heavy. Not because of the winner, right? I mean, I'm okay with Io Sky winning. I'm fine with that. I think they really made a really poor decision to have Danhausen come out and curse Liv Morgan before the match. You might as well have just had Liv come out there, and basically be like, oh, now I'm cursed, and go right back up the curtain, because what have they been playing up here? Danhausen's curse is a thing, right? They've been playing this up as factual. When Danhausen curses somebody, they lose, and they're cursed. And this is just the reality of what they have tried to build with the Danhausen character. So why, right as Liv Morgan is going to walk down the aisle, do you curse her before the Queen of the Ring tournament? That was a foregone conclusion. Now that Liv Morgan was going to lose that match, I just think you should have never did that aspect of it. I mean, I get it. He's involved with the whole Judgment Day thing now, cursing different people. I just feel like this was just not the right time to do it. I really don't. And maybe that's their way of somewhat protecting Liv Morgan by, being like, oh, I'm cursed. That's why I lost. But then at the end, she goes and she cuts a backstage promo saying, I'm not cursed. So I don't know, man. I didn't like it. I would have rather had the match play out, and the winner who we got was the winner who we got. I don't know why you would do that right before the match. I feel like that was just kind of bad decision making right there. So you did have Io Sky win, and another poor thing that I think that they did is they did not prolong this decision for Io Sky. I mean, she immediately challenged Liv Morgan right at the end of the match. Why not build this up? And also, why Liv Morgan? Why are we not going to build the storyline between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley? That's the built-in storyline. That's it, man. Rhea is the WWE Women's Champion over there on SmackDown. Why are we not having this prolonged storyline culminate to a main title match as SummerSlam? You could have did Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky there. And instead, she announces Liv Morgan right at the end of her match. I'm a little bit baffled by that decision making. Again, I just feel like this whole progression here with this, from the event to now what's going to happen at SummerSlam is just not it. I kind of wish it would have went in a different direction. Maybe that's just me, and maybe I'm completely off on this, but let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought about that. Now let's get into our next match, which was Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker. And I want to be honest, this was a really good match. I actually enjoyed this match as a steel cage. They kind of added that caveat last minute. I was okay with it. I mean, this storyline has kind of been brewing for a while now. I'm hoping maybe this was the end of it. I don't want them to continue this back and forth between the two. It was good when they were involved in the Vision and Braun, turned on Seth, and there was a title involved at the time, and now there's no title. So it's like, we're just drawing this out, so it seemed like for no reason. It was a good match. Braun Breaker actually got some color here. He went through the table. The table bounced back up and hit him right above the temple, like right here, busted open. Got a lot of color in the match, which was obviously accidental, but I think it added a little bit to the match, even though it wasn't supposed to happen, right? So I kind of actually like that. No interference. No Vision involved. No Montez Ford or Angelo Dawkins involved. So this was just a clean match. Clean, right? It's a steel cage match between the two. So no interference. But man, oh man, Seth Rollins gets that victory. And what do we now do with Braun Breaker? Right? I mean, again, I just feel like there's a lot of things happening right now in WWE. A lot of things happening, a lot of good, but also a lot of ones that are make your head scratch a little bit. I just feel like we were building so much momentum with Braun Breaker. I thought he should have won the title match versus CM Punk. We were building this guy. They were strapping a rocket ship to this guy, and then he pulled his groin, was off TV for a while, lost that title match, and I just feel like ever since the momentum has really came to a screeching halt here with Braun Breaker, and then he picks up another loss here. So we have to ask the question of what now happens with Braun Breaker. I kind of would lean in the direction of maybe tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, we potentially get the Vision to turn on him for losing, right? And maybe Austin Theory comes out there and tries to beat the heck out of Braun Breaker. It's kind of tough though, right? Because Logan Paul is injured. So it's not like Braun can go out there and throw Logan Paul around. That's just not going to happen. So I don't know what they do right now. I feel like he's kind of stuck. And he had so much momentum and now it's kind of lost. So that's the major question I have coming out of this match. You know, what I also am speculating, guys, is for Seth Rollins' path now. We know what happened 2 weeks ago now between Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu in the backstage segment. He whispered something into Jacob's ear. And if you turned up the mic volume really, really loud and you really tried to listen to it, he told Jacob Fatu to destroy Seth Rollins. Okay. So my prediction for Monday Night Raw is going to be Seth Rollins comes out, declares that he's done with the Vision. He's over. He conquered the Vision. Now is on to bigger and better things. Out comes Jacob Fatu and attacks Seth Rollins to set up the ultimate SummerSlam match between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. I feel like that's the direction. That's been the rumored direction here for now, weeks on end, is that's going to be your SummerSlam match. And that's another reason why I'm leaning against the whole Obafemi versus Roman Reigns angle, is because this seems like it possibly could be the direction that we're heading. Again, a lot of is going to be determined tomorrow on Monday Night Raw, but I kind of feel like that's in that direction that we're going to be heading for Seth Rollins. And the most obvious one I feel like that happened at Night of Champions was Trick Williams versus Ricky Saints. Trick Williams retains. I feel like this should just be an easy setup here for Trick Williams. Come out on Friday Night SmackDown, Mello interrupts, whatever. Let's just run the Mello Trick Williams at SummerSlam. All right? Like, let's just get into that feud. We got, what do they say, 5 weeks now till SummerSlam. They don't have a PLE in July. It's a Saturday night's main event. So let's take this whole month, bring the history between the two, from NXT, whatever. Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes. Let's just run it at SummerSlam for the U.S. title. Maybe Carmelo goes over. I don't know, but I feel like this is kind of the obvious one. Ricky Saints, I mean, I'm glad he kind of got this spotlight here in a PLE, but I don't really know what you do with Ricky Saints going forward after that loss, right? I did think it was funny that Little Yachty hit him with the people's elbow. But yeah, what do we do with Ricky Saints here? You know what I mean? He didn't have that much momentum, it seemed like, from his WWE SmackDown debut, and he's really not been getting any great reactions. He has proven, though, the last couple weeks on Friday Night SmackDown that he is good on the mic, man. So, we got to give him a little bit more opportunities here to shine. I just don't know what you do after that loss. So maybe it's a triple threat match at SummerSlam, or maybe they just run Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes for the U.S. title and call it a day. Another one I thought could have potentially went in a different direction, or maybe possibly should have gone in a different direction, is Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. You did have Tiffany Stratton retain with the help there of Chelsea Green. B-Fab and Michin got involved in the match as well. I am slightly surprised by this because I know, obviously at the end of the match too, you had Charlotte Flair. And obviously that's the setup. We've been working towards that now for weeks. So we know it's going to be Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair. I thought maybe they would have added the wrinkle here with that U.S. title on the line, So I thought potentially it was going to be Tiffany losing the belt, having Jade have the title, and Charlotte Flair challenging her for that title at SummerSlam, just because, Charlotte Flair needs that title. She needs technically she needs that title and the IC title over there on Monday Night Raw to become that Grand Slam champion now, right? Since they added those belts, to WWE Women's Division. So I thought maybe they could have, played that up, with that storyline there, but they didn't. So I don't know, man. Obviously, that's going to be the direction. So you're probably going to get Jade Cargill versus, Charlotte Flair there at SummerSlam. But then what do you do with Tiffany Stratton now that she retained? Obviously, with all groups and, friends and factions, right? We always lead up to some type of turn. So maybe they have Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton break up and turn or whatever, and that's going to be the match at SummerSlam for the belt. And maybe, Chelsea Green wins the title back. I don't know. But the bigger question here is not that. The bigger question is Tiffany Stratton now stuck in the mid-card title scene? Got to remember last year, man. She had the year of all years. Cashed in, won the belt, was the champion all year long. And ever since she lost the world title, I don't know. Is she stuck? I mean, she was off TV for a while with that injury or whatever it was after she had lost. Kim comes back, gets right put into that mid-card title scene, wins the title off of Julia. So, I don't know. Is this good for now? Or is she somebody who kind of needs to be in the main title scene? Again, I've been kind of speaking at it for months now that I feel like the women's division currently is kind of a disaster, meaning there's so much talent down there, but the booking has not been up to par, man. Not at all for the amount of talent that we currently have in that women's division. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comment section. What do we do now with Tiffany Stratton? And my oh my, ladies and gentlemen, let us get to the main event of the evening, because they are calling it the Miracle in Saudi. I mean, Sami Zayn finally gets it done. He finally becomes a WWE champion, a world champion at that. And man, that was such a good feel-good moment. It really was a feel-good moment. I think I had actually predicted this one. I said, man, in what was it, 2021 or 2022? Or was it 2023? I forget the year now because it's all blending together. But when Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns happened at the Elimination Chamber in Canada, I said they missed what a opportunity then. Sami Zayn was the hottest he was probably ever going to be in his career. And they passed up on that opportunity to have Roman retain. Sami Zayn has a lot of momentum right now with this new character. Nowhere at the level it was, in that feud with Roman Reigns, but it's still, trending upwards. And they finally pulled the trigger on him, man. And it is a feel-good moment. A lot of people online are trashing this, like Sami Zayn should never be a world champion, and that my WWE that I know is gone. It's dead in the water. Like, come on, guys. Can we not enjoy a feel-good moment every once in a while? Like, what are we doing here? I mean, I've been critical of Cody Rhodes' title reign for a while now. So why are we so upset Sami Zayn won? You know what I mean? Cody's title reigns have been so lackluster. Maybe Sami Zayn could put something together here, or again, maybe my speculation is right about the whole Brock Lesnar thing, but man, it was just a good moment. Just a great moment. Sami Zayn finally gets it done, and he is a world champion, man. I mean, wow. Wow. And it was surprising, right? Like, I obviously wanted Sami to win here, but as the match was, progressing and going on, I'm thinking, oh, a lot of false finishes here. And I feel like when they give you a lot of false finishes, it usually tends to go in the other direction. They did it though, with the roll up, 1, 2, 3, bang, place erupts, right? So I'm very happy right now. What happens further, with the storyline of Sami actually being the champion is one other thing, but just to live in that moment and witness that, it was good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, some questions coming out of the main event. What do you do with Cody? What do you do with Gunther? Because, man, oh man, Gunther. I feel like with the backstage segment with Nick Aldis, we could potentially get a Nick Aldis versus Gunther match at SummerSlam here. And who knows what happened with Drew McIntyre, right? Because this is the same blueprint, ladies and gentlemen. And it tends to fall in line here. Every Cody Rhodes feud tends to follow this trend. It was Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre. Now it's Gunther. That they always have a bone to pick with management. Because they say, they favor Cody or whatever, and that's how Cody always retains, right? It's the same blueprint over and over again when Cody was the champion. And maybe this was supposed to be Drew McIntyre's match. Maybe, we were building to that with a lot of back and forth between Nick Aldis and Drew McIntyre. It seemed like we were going to get a match. And now it seems like that's Gunther's position, and he may have a match with Nick Aldis at SummerSlam, which Say what you will, I would be happy with that because I would actually want to see Nick Aldis back in the ring, right? But you could look at it in the opposite direction and be like, man, Gunther's here. Be- Beats John Cena, beats Goldberg, retires AJ Styles. He's up here. They're building him to be this guy. And now he just keeps going down the elevator, man. I feel like they have completely ruined his shtick, completely ruined his character. And maybe we can finally put that to toast and stop calling him the career killer and building him up to be this unbeatable guy because he don't win anymore. Yes. Did he beat Seth Rollins? Did he beat, AJ? Yes. But now he's lost twice to Cody Rhodes. I don't care what you tell me about the interference, the thing under the bottom rope, whatever. That's just a way to try to protect him. But when he keeps losing, you can't tell me he's unbeatable. That's just plain and simple. Now, what do you do with Cody Rhodes? That's a tough one, man. I feel like maybe he should stay away from this title scene for a little while here. I don't know what you do, man. He's a top guy though, right? So they always want him to be kind of in the mix of the main event scene, right? He is that guy. But I would preferably see him stay away from that title picture for quite some time. I just don't know what you do with him in the immediate future. You know what I'm saying? Maybe him and Gunther do one more, two more. I don't know. I don't want to see that either. Maybe Punk comes back, and that's a shoo-in for Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk's at SummerSlam. When does Punk return, or what does Punk do? That's going to be a big topic, a big storyline whenever Punk comes back. So maybe that could be a big marquee match at SummerSlam. But yeah, it's just a lot of questions coming out of Night of Champions. Overall, it was a good PLE. I thoroughly enjoyed, watching it, and a lot of speculation that happened and the feel-good moments, and it was good. It was actually a pretty solid PLE, so I did enjoy it for what it was. Crowd was lackluster, though, man, and that's a little worrisome. They started off strong, but it's a little bit worrisome for WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia because they weren't as good as I thought maybe they were going to be. So that's a topic for a different day. Let me know what you guys thought about Night of Champions, everything that went down below in the comment section. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure you guys are smashing that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here. And don't forget to turn that post notification bell on so every time I upload one of these things, you're going to be notified. And with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. My name is Dylan, and I'm out. Peace.